Could it be true? Might we see a 6th DLC for Battlefield 4? At the moment, who really knows? Today I'm bringing you some Battlefield 4 news, and by the title of the video, I'm pretty sure you know what this is going to be about. But I'm going to explain how the situation came to be, and whether it's actually plausible to have a 6th DLC for Battlefield 4. So, to begin with, the community have been clamouring for an extra DLC to be added to Battlefield 4. There are multiple different reasons as to why that might be. A lot of people think that a free DLC should be given out as sort of like a payment back from EA and DICE for the bad launch and just pretty much the bad state of Battlefield 4 ever since it's been released. There are other theories that a 6th DLC should be added to fill the gap between the end of Battlefield 4, which would have been Final Stand, and the start of Battlefield Hardline, which is most likely going to come within the first 4 months of 2015. So with those two theories in mind, a lot of the community have been shouting out on Twitter, because that's where I spend the multitude of my time talking to the Battlefield community, and a lot of them have been including developers and sort of video producers and everything to do with DICE and EA in regards to bringing another DLC to Battlefield 4. And a couple of days ago, we got a response. Originally, I tweeted out about Battlefield 4 maps not really being the best maps that we've seen for a Battlefield game, and the Battlefield 3 maps, which you can see in that tweet on the screen right now, were just much more entertaining, much more time consuming, and I ultimately had much more fun on those maps. One of my followers then ended up linking the actual Battlefield Twitter into the tweet stream, and then the Battlefield Twitter replied saying they would pass this on to the developers. Now, a lot of people this would thought would just be like a standard tweet saying, yeah, we'll pass this on to the developers for you, and then never really see anything of it. Well, in actual fact, we got an official reply from Tigger, or David Serland as you might know him, the lead developer at DICE LA for Battlefield 4 and the Battlefield 4 CTE program, and he said this: if there was to be a remake, what maps would you want the most? Top 3. Now, we can't go a huge amount on what Tigger actually has to say here. He's just gaining sort of feedback for what generally people might think they would want for a 6th DLC. But this is the first time we've had a response from somebody at EA or DICE in regards to this 6th DLC, and it looks as if they're genuinely putting some thought into maybe creating something to fill the gap between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline. Now, taking Tigger's tweet into sort of consideration here, what top 3 maps would you put into a 6th DLC for Battlefield 4? And I mean, they don't just have to be like normal maps from Battlefield 3, for example. They could be like properly classic maps from Battlefield 2 and 1942 to be reincarnated in the Frostbite engine to make a 6th DLC for this game. Now, we have to remember that we already have Second Assault for Battlefield 4, or Second Rehash, because the maps that were included in that DLC were clearly not the fan favourites. I don't care whether people were saying that they played on them more than others. That doesn't necessarily mean they're the most popular. I think the only reason those 4 maps in Second Assault, Operation Metro, Gulf of Oman, Caspian Border and Operation Firestorm, were actually included is because they are all 4 maps that were included in the base game of Battlefield 3. And if you didn't buy Premium, then you were going to play those maps one hell of a lot. So yeah, as I said, what 3 maps would you pick to have in Battlefield 4 as a 6th DLC? Well, I replied to Tigger, and I said that I wanted Grand Bazaar, Noshar Canals, and Zeba Tower. For me, those 3 maps in Battlefield 3 were probably the ones that I pumped the most amount of time into. Now, Noshar Canals I probably think is going to be a very popular pick for the community, simply because it was the best TDM map in Battlefield 3, and it just gave you hours and hours of fun. It was easy to grind weapons out for the attachments and unlocks that you wanted to get, and overall, it was just a really good map to play on. Now, a lot of other people didn't actually agree with my other 2 choices, Zeba Tower and Grand Bazaar, both very heavily infantry focused. I think Grand Bazaar is one of the best conquest maps that's ever been made for a Battlefield game. I like the linearity of the map, I like the fact that there were 2 large lanes down the side, but then 1 infantry only section down the middle, down that corridor, which was always good fun, rubble falling everywhere. And really, my Zebra Tower choice is simply because, again, like Noshar Canals, it was an easy way for me to grind weapons and just have fun killing people. And that's what I really want to do in this game, Battlefield. I want to kill people. So I wanted a nice, easy map to do it on, and Zebra Tower gave me that. But besides my choices, I want to know what you guys think would be the best maps to include in this DLC. So make sure you leave a comment down below today, letting me know what top 3 maps you'd like to see, and anything else that you want to see in that DLC. If you write M16A3, it will probably come up as spam in the comments section, but I'll let those ones through. Make sure you do leave a comment today, guys. But anyway, that's the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching today. Make sure you leave a rating and a comment, as I said, down below. I will try and read as many as I can. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.